Welcome back everyone to my Let's Play of The Legend of Zelda, A Link to the Past. In our last episode, we got the flute and a request to play the flute in front of the bird statue at the center of town. So we're going to do that, but first we're going to head to the fortune teller, and we should be able to get another fortune, so... that one tree there, it used to drop rupees, but now that Aghanim's been defeated and the overworld has changed, it drops bees. But there's another tree that will drop rupees, so we can still get some free rupees in the town. And I'll show that tree off after I get a different fortune. So sometimes, like I said, you have to get go to the fortune teller 2 times to get the ones that you want. So let's see what we get here. The gossip shop in the dark world has treasure for the taking. So I think that refers to treasure chest that we'll get that goes back to the, I guess, the mini quest dealing with the former thief at the entrance to the desert. So there's where we can get some rupees, bash into that tree, and now we need to play the flute like the old man asked us to. And this is important. We have to do this to complete the game. What we're going to get here is basically a method of fast travel. This bird is going to come to life, and now whenever we play the flute, we're given 8 places where we can be teleported to. The bird's going to carry us off to them. And one of those places leads to one of those teleportation tiles to go into the dark world. Now, speaking of the dark world, the bird does not work in the dark world. It only works here in the light world, so, which is weird because at the end of the game there's a cutscene where Felfel will use the flute in the dark world. But now, speaking of Dark World, we're going to head into the Dark World here, and we're going to play some games. First up here is this arrow game. For 20 rupees, we get 5 shots with the arrows. It starts off at 4 rupees when we hit a target, and then it will double all the way up to 64 rupees. So you get 4, 8 for 12, then 16 for 28, then 32 for 60, and then 64 for a total of 124 rupees, minus the 20 to play with. You can make 104 rupee profit if you hit all the targets. If you miss a target, the targets being those squids, the hands don't count. They're just there to block your arrows. If you miss a target, it goes back to the beginning. So if you get 2 targets and you're at 8, and then you miss the next one, and then you hit the 4th shot, you'll only be at 4 rupees. So yeah, it only counts consecutively. So, and here we have another mini game, which is more important, the digging game. So if you come here with a shovel, it doesn't matter. This guy's gonna loan you a shovel. I'm just gonna fast forward here because it may take a few attempts. But basically, you pay 80 rupees and you're given 30 seconds to dig as many holes as possible. The reason why you want to do this mini game is because there's a piece of heart here. It's randomly where it's at, so you're just gonna have to see if you get lucky. Luckily though, it's not too hard to make back your rupees. With only 80 rupees, all you need is really 4 red rupees to break even. So as you can see in this one here, I actually made a 40 rupee profit. So, but I wouldn't necessarily play that game to try to make profit. Once you get the heart piece, that's really all you want to play the game for. We're going to have more than enough rupees to do everything we need to do. Basically, all we need rupees for anymore is if we want to get some medicine. We're going to need 100 rupees for a bomb later. And we still have to get 500 rupees to max out our arrows at the wishing well. So Swamp of Evil, no entrance, no escape. Well, that goes back to the portal in the light world. We're gonna have to use a portal in the light world to get there because there's no entrance to it from the dark world. And speaking of portals from the light world, if we warp here back into the light world, no real need for me to do this, but just want to show you that there are multiple portals into the dark world. There's another one right here, so you can just take it and boop. Yeah, I'll be showing them all off as well. But now I'm going to show off a bunch of stuff in the swamp here. So we have a little cracked wall there. Let's put a bomb there. And that statue there to the south here, if we pull on it, we can get some more rupees. and the statue over there surrounded by the water. In the light world, it gave us a fairy. In this dark world, we get some apples. So here's that like type enemy. As you can see, it just stole my shield. If you defeat it, it'll drop the item that it just took off you. So it took the shield off of me. I defeated it, dropped the shield. However, if I didn't defeat it quick enough and it took another item from me, say like a rupee, a bomb, or an arrow, it would just drop that. So it's one way to lose your shield. However, you can buy a red shield back in the Dark World here. There's a shop later on I'll show off that actually sells a red shield. And then there's, but probably the better option would be just to go to the shop in the Dark World where the magic shop is in the Light World, because that one sells a blue shield. So you can just go there, get the blue shield, and then warp back to the Light World, because the magic shop is very close to the wishing well where you throw your blue shield to get the red shield. So it'll just save you some rupees. So if you're hurting for rupees, not that you really should, because like I said, that one guy, he just gave us 300 rupees, and there's gonna be a few more like 300 rupees chests later on. So, but right now we're gonna head into those 300 rupees chests are in like the Thief's Village, which most people tend to want to do after the first village, or the first dungeon. So, Felfel is Sarasala. Objects exist simultaneously in both worlds. If something affects one world, it'll affect the twin in the other. So we can't reach that ladder there, it's too high up. So what do? Well, we're gonna have to use that clue that Sarasala gave us, that what is done to one world in one world affects the twin in the other. So we're gonna head back to this structure here in the light world. And the channel right now is empty, but if we're gonna go up here into this room and pull the right hand lever, it will flood the channel. And the channel will now be flooded in the Dark World because it affects its twin. And we can do that to make our way up that ladder and start progressing into the dungeon. So, yeah, I just mentioned Thief's Town there, the 4th dungeon. That's the one that speedrunners tend to go into, because the treasure in that dungeon is the Titan's Mitch, which allows you to lift the black rocks, and that's necessary to get the upgraded sword. So, yeah, there's gonna be 2 swords actually stronger than the master sword here. So, but here in like the dungeon 2, I guess the water dungeon, and the gimmick here is going to be raising and lowering water levels. So in this first basement here, we're mainly going to be we're always going to be raising water levels to reach ledges and platforms, ladders that we can't reach normally. So we'll be trying to find switches, pressing the switches to have water spill out of these like mouths. So we head up here, and we're gonna see that switch over there. That's what we're gonna have to press, and then that mouth there is gonna spill out water. So that's the gimmick. See, we can't reach that ladder on the very far left, so we're gonna have to flood that channel with water. So we'll have to pull out our hammer to smash down these little smiley posts that hop up and down. We push the switch, and now that channel is flooding with water, so we can go and reach that ladder that we missed. Here's the big central room. I'll have to remember this room in a little bit. But let's head back into that channel. Now we can reach that ladder. It's a good thing we can swim. Look. And here's the big central room where we get the item for the dungeon. We see the treasure chest there up in the upper left there. But we gotta get the big key first. But first, we're gonna head down this way here. Now we see these orange enemies that are spawning right there out of the holes in the top of the walls. Those enemies are gonna spawn endlessly, but they're not. You can't farm off of them. So like right now, I'm kind of low on hearts. So normally you can just defeat enemies and hope that they, drop hearts or rupees or whatever you might need. Those enemies, though, will never drop anything, so don't waste your time trying to farm off of them. Just defeat any that are in your way and then move on. So otherwise you'll just get swarmed by them and take some unnecessary damage. Gotta avoid the fire snakes because there's nothing they can do, so. Now we have blocks over there. Unfortunately, we can't push any of those blocks, so once again, we're gonna have to raise the water level in this channel so that we can swim over those blocks. So you see we have blue blocks there. So when we go into this room, we're gonna have to hit the switch to lower the blue blocks to get at the switch to spill the water. And you might think, oh, well, we'll just keep the blue blocks down because then we can go south through that door and have a little shortcut. That's the game's trying to trick you. See that treasure chest over to the left? That contains the big key, and we're gonna have to get it, but it's blocked by red blocks. So we have to make sure the red blocks are down, so yeah, you're gonna have to hit that switch to put the blue blocks up and make the long way around here. Otherwise, you're gonna have to backtrack to get to that switch again. So, yeah, the game tries to trick you by giving you a fake shortcut. So, let's head over this way, and we're gonna see another little blocks here, but this time there's no channel to flood. So these blocks we can actually push. So it's just a small little block puzzle there. You see those red blocks there. So we just push this one on the bottom, then push this one up, and we get passageway up to the first floor again. Kind of like the Tower of Hell, we're gonna have to drop down from the first floor into the basement. We can do it from the left or the right. You only really have to drop down to the right hole to progress, but I'm gonna drop down into the left hole as well, just because you don't get 100% getting all the treasure. So. In speedruns, 100% doesn't mean getting all the treasures, it just means getting all the items, all the heart containers. But I guess in my little 100%, I'm going to get all the treasure chests, so. Besides, Felfel likes to explore. He's a very adventurous hamster, so. When he isn't napping. So, yeah, and that little photo I have of him, the little collage, he's napping in one of them. But he's a cute little boy. So, he brought a lot of joy to his mom and the Marty Mouse House minions, so, the happiest place on the world, so now we got the big key, and that'll make us happy because, we can now go back to that big center room and get the item for this dungeon, so, and it is a very useful item, so. It actually has several purposes, so let's hop on over here. I don't want to spoil what it is because we're a few seconds away from getting it. So what do we get here? We get the hook shot. What the hook shot does is it shoots across and it grabs onto things and then pulls you across. So it's a good way to cross big gaps that you normally couldn't cross. It can also be used similar to the boomerang. It can shoot out and grab like certain items like rupees, hearts, and pull them into you. So it doesn't just pull you into things, it can pull things into you. So another function of the hook shot is you can use it on these jellyfish type enemies. And even if the jellyfish enemies are, you know, pulsing with electricity there that would normally shock you if you hit them with your sword, the hook shot, they won't damage you if you hit them with a hook shot. So, and then finally, the hook shot can be somewhat of a defensive item. While the hook shot is out, your character, Felfel here, he's in a certain animation state, and they can't have him in that animation state and take hits at the same time. So you can kind of use the hook shot, in a sense, for invincibility frames. So I use the hook shot on these guys here. See, I was right, that guy was right sitting inside of me. Normally I'd take damage from him, but I was using the hook shot at the time, so it didn't give me any damage, so. This is just a dead end here. I'm just showing off what things are, but when we get to the second basement, the first basement's gimmick was we had to raise water levels. Now in the second basement, we're gonna have to start lowering water levels, so yeah. We needed to raise water to progress. Now we have to lower water to progress. So we're gonna head back to that room where we pushed the statue onto the button, and we're gonna have to do that again because that button doesn't just open the door here to the north, it also opens this door over here to the right that I'm about to head into. So yeah, head into that door. Now we're gonna head down, we're gonna head back into that dead end room I showed, but we're gonna be on the opposite side, which will allow us to flip this switch and lower the water level. Now the water level is lowered, we can head back to that one room I showed earlier where there was some treasure chest that was flooded. And we can pick up that treasure. Now none of that treasure is necessary to complete this dungeon, but like I said, 100% for me is getting all the treasure, so let's see what goodies Felfel is gonna get. 20 rupees, and another 20 rupees, so not important in the grand scheme of things, but you know, hamsters can be kind of greedy. You ever see them stuff their cheeks? It's pretty interesting, hamsters. I watched a video on YouTube on how much they can stick in their mouths. Their cheek pouches actually go back toward their ribs almost, a little past their ribs. So they can almost put like food in their pouches all the way back along their sides. So now we kind of look like we're at a dead end, but if we pull up our map, well, you can see there's a room behind us there. So, well, there's no door. That's because the door is hidden behind one of these waterfalls. So the second one from the left, from the right I mean, and we get the hidden door. Now we head back up to the first basement and we're almost done with this dungeon. So we have the current that's pulling us away, but we have to head over this way first to grab that key. And the problem here is these guys in the water there, these like bug enemies, we can't hurt them. See, if we swing our sword at them, they're it's gonna miss because they're on a different plane than us. So basically what we're gonna have to do is we're gonna have to, they kind of like their AI I guess is programmed to kind of move toward where your character is. So you could, if you don't have an opening, just head over to the right, lure them over to the right, and then jump down when there's a safety spot. So now this boss, we have to use the hook shot to rather than pull us to it, we have to pull those they look like little popcorn balls off of the boss. So this is where the upgraded sword comes in handy. The upgraded sword only takes one hit to destroy these things, so it's a little bit easier, but this boss isn't too difficult. Sometimes though you may want to wait if you hit the thing real quick, it loses its iframes, and then the thing will hit you. So hit it, and then let it move a little bit away from you, and then hit it again. So you could switch to your hammer, but that just takes too long. You'll save time hitting things, but you'll waste more time in the menu. So now he goes into a second phase where he goes up into the air, and he drops down where you're at. So I just like to charge my sword up while he's floating in the air. That way I can hit him for double damage when he lands. And with that, we get the second maiden. And let's see what she has to tell us. So, well, she's gonna obviously start out with telling us, thanks to us, thanks to Mr. Felfel, she can escape the clutches of the evil monsters. Felfel, because of you, I can escape from the clutches of the evil monsters. Thank you. The Triforce will grant the wishes of whoever touches it as long as that person lives. That is why it was hidden in the Golden Land. Only a select few knew of its location, but at some point that knowledge was lost. The person who rediscovered the Golden Land was Gandalf the Evil Thief. Luckily, he couldn't figure out how to return to the Light World. Well, remember that you have magical powers, which only the hero can make the most of. There are some other magical warping points like the one you saw on Death Mountain. By using them, you can go between the two worlds and find evils hidden in the Dark World. You are the only one who can destroy Gandalf the Thief, no Ganon, the evil king of darkness. Do you understand? Yes. And we're going to have to use one of those portals in the Lost Woods, or near the Lost Woods, to get to the third dungeon. Remember that one tree told us that he wandered into a portal near the Lost Woods and ended up in the Dark World? So that's our clue. So that's what we'll do on our next episode. Take care, have a good day. Bye!